In this tech tip video, I want to demonstrate you my preferred technique for the repair of meniscal ramp lesions. So this is what we want to repair: a typical meniscal ramp lesion defined as a meniscoligamentous or meniscocapsular injury of the posterior horn of the medial meniscus. Probing from anterior reveals increased anterior translation of the posterior horn, but the injury becomes more obvious by visualization of the posterior medial compartment with the transnod view. Here you can see gapping of the lesion by rotational movements of the tibia. The technique I use is an all-inside technique with a suture hook introduced through a posterior medial portal, and 2 or 3 vertical sutures are used to close the ramp lesion. The first step of the procedure is to visualize the posterior medial compartment and to establish a posterior medial portal. The arthroscope is introduced through the standard anterolateral portal. It is then passed into the posterior medial compartment through the triangle limited by the inferior border of the PCL, the medial femoral condyle, and the medial tibial spine. Afterwards, the posterior medial compartment can be visualized, and internal rotation of the tibia can help to better visualize the ramp area. Next, the posterior medial portal is created. A spinal needle is introduced and it is verified that the lesion can be reached. A scalpel is then used to open the skin and joint capsule, and the capsule is opened gradually with a scissor. The lesion is then verified with a probe. Here you can see the ramp lesion with the detached meniscotibial ligament. Before repairing the lesion, a meniscal rasp is used to create microbleedings for better healing. For the repair, a cannula is placed in the posterior medial portal and a suture hook is introduced into the joint. First, the meniscotibial ligament is penetrated, and it is important to get a good bite from the inferior portion. Next, the posterior part of the meniscus is penetrated with the suture hook. A wire loop is then introduced into the joint and a suture hook is removed. A suture grasper is then used to retrieve the wire loop. Next, the wire loop is replaced by a number 0 fiber wire suture. An arthroscopic sliding knot is then created outside the joint and pulled inside, and finally secured with half hitches. The sutures are then cut and the first vertical suture is completed. A second stitch is then performed in the same manner. The meniscotibial ligament is penetrated from far inferior, followed by penetration of the meniscal posterior horn. The wire loop is then inserted and again replaced by the repair suture, and the repair is finalized with a sliding knot and, as seen before, half hitches. This is the final aspect of the repair, and here you can see how it looks from the posterior medial portal with 2 vertical sutures placed at the ramp area with firm attachment of the meniscotibial ligament to the posterior horn of the meniscus. Thank you very much.